So this is the first part. We want to show all the data in the web page. Okay. Now let's try to figure out how to create a page for creating a new user. In this case, I would like to utilize a form. Okay. So we are going to learn one file more for this application, and I would like to create a new file named forms.py. Okay. And this forms.py will be in the folder user mgmt. So let's find the folder user mgmt here, and then let's make a new file. So we are going to make a new Python file. Okay. All in Django, all files in Django should be related either with Python or HTML. Okay. So in this case, in the forms, I would like to create with the Python file. So the name will be forms.py. Once you create the forms.py here, copy and paste this one. I will explain to you about this later. So this will be about the form. If you still remember, when you create the forms in the HTML page, you need to design what is the label and then what is the input. So the input can be text, the input can be password, the input can be email. Okay. In this case, I would like to use the fields all. It means all the attributes that I have in the model member. So this is just for a simple command. Okay. If you want to make it more complicated, then you can just define with the list like this one. For example, I want to define the salutation and first name and last name only without email, for example. So you can specify the attribute name. But for now, let's just use all. Okay. And after you have the forms.py, now we will do the 3 steps for the view and templates. Okay. So in the views, I would like to import the member form, and then I will create a new function, and the function is about create member. Okay, then this one, I will put it into the views.py in the user mgmt, and then just copy and paste here, and I can get this one. The forms will be from the member form, and the member form was from the user mgmt.forms. So you can check if it is the member form. It is a class in the forms.py. And then here I would like to use the Django library about forms, and then I would like to extract the data from the member. Member is the table name in the models. Okay. Member is the table name in the models. So I would like to discuss this function later. Okay. But this one will go to the member form.html. and I would like to use forms, which is an object. This is form is an object from the member form. And after I create the views, you need to define the URLs. So this URLs, you need to update the URLs in the user management. And once again, I would like to say to you that please pay attention to the name. Okay. Now we need to check the name carefully because I will use this one, and you will need to know why we need to define the name. I guess we already have the first path, but I need to add one more path, which is the new. It is to create the member, and let me give a name at member. So I will open the urls.py. It is under the folder user mgmt, and then I will paste this one. Okay. After you have the new path, we can design the HTML. Before we design a new HTML, okay, please add one line to the list member.html. Okay, the list member.html is the file that we created last time, and then we need to add one more line, this one. Okay, this is the line to go to the create a new member. Okay, so please copy and paste this one. So copy that one and go to list member. We have list member.html, and under the table you can put one line. This is a reference. Okay. And then we have the add member. I will explain this one later. And then the text that appears in the web is new member. Okay, anything is okay now? Okay, let me continue. So after you add this line to the list member.html, you can create a new file. Create a file member_form.html. And because this is the file related to the user mgmt, let's put this member form.html in the templates and in the folder of user mgmt. So I will copy and paste this one. Okay, copy this code, and then I will make a new HTML here. So I will create member_form. This is an HTML file. Make sure that you create the HTML5. Okay, and then delete this one, and then paste with the file that I gave in the PowerPoint. Okay. Yeah, if anything is good, you can run. I can refresh. Now you can see there is one new button. Okay, there's a button here, and then if you click, it will go to one new page. This is the page for new member, or if you want to update the information from the member. Let's say I will put Mr. Maybe let me create bbcc bb at abc.com, for example. Okay, and then save. Now you can see that the data has been added to the table. Okay. Can you do it, this one? Any problems? So I will wait for some seconds. Okay. So let's find out the details. What is the meaning for each of the code? Okay. First, let's discuss about the form. Here we use the form. If you still remember in the HTML section, we create the form. Okay. We have the form, and this is the form that we want to connect with our database. Here the form use the method post. Okay. So for now, let's consider this using post. Post is something to go to the database without any data. Okay. Oh, maybe I will have this explanation about the post and get in the next section. Okay. So for now, let's just understand that we are using post. Okay. And for the form, we are requesting about the post or none. So it means when we want to submit a data, there should be something about the post or no data. So what about if you have no data? So if none, then there will be some like kind of information. For example, if I input miss and then save, then yeah, you need to input all the things because we already defined in the form. We have the forms.py. We need to input all the fields. Okay. What are all the fields? All the fields we have in the models. We have 4 attributes. So the salutation, first name, last name, and email. It means we need to input all the attributes, and every attribute should be inputted into this section. If you do not want to do the input, you can just do cancel, and then it will return back to the original page or the member list. Now, in the views.py, okay, you can check on the views.py. Yeah, we are creating an object. So this object is to do the post. It means we want to get the data from the HTML, and then we will check whether it is valid or not. So this is the embedded function in Django. So you don't need to find out more the details. But if you want, you can click this one. Yeah, you can see the details about this form. So there are many functions that they already built, and you can just reuse it. Okay, so you don't need to know the details for this one. Just to understand that you can use this one to check whether the form is valid according to the member form, and the member form will be connected to the data member. If it is valid, then save. You still remember what is save? In our query, you know that we can create an object and then we can save it. So if you want to know back to the model, so when we do this model, you will see this one, q.save. So we have one object and we want to save it. So it means we want to save the data of that object into the database. So once we save the data into the database, redirect. Redirect means go back. Where do you want to go? I want to go to the list members. Where is list members? Then you will check this redirect. The redirect will connect to the URLs. So when you click list member, it will be the name of your link. So if you put this one like list member without S, okay, that will be a problem. So you need to be precise with the name. So for example, I have Miss AAA, BBB, AA, AA at abc.com, for example. And then when you save, it will be error. Because the name of the link is not the same with what you want to go for the redirect. So this should be precise. Okay. So there will be the new data like this one. So is valid, okay. Form.save is to save the data and then redirect will go to the other HTML file, just calling the name of the link. And then in our member list, we have one line about the URL. Okay. So this URL means the same with the one that we already learned. Okay. So the URL here means I want to go to the add member. What is the add member? The add member is the link that we define in the URL. So this is the link that we define. So we will go to the new. What is new? We will call the create member. What is create member? Yeah, we will render the member under form.html. And then whenever any data in this section, we will get the data and then check if it is valid, then save, and then return back to the list member. Okay. So this code is about the form, and in the form, I include this one, CSRF token. Okay, what is this? So the CSRF token is to generate a unique token when it makes the form page. So this token is required to do the post or get data back to the server. So you can just reuse this one. Okay, whenever you create any form, you need to have at least one CSRF token. What is CSRF? So CSRF is this one, cross-site request forgery. So nowadays, there are many fraud in the web. So the web environment try to find a way to secure the web. So that's why they will create the CSRF token in order to minimize the fraud, or it is to increase the security. as I mentioned to you before, for example, in this setting, there's a secret key. So this secret key is unique for your computer. It's also unique for my computer. So nobody will have the same key. The same with the form. When you have this form, it means you will send some private data. That's why in Django, they have this security to make sure that the data that you send from any web to your server will be safe. Okay? So it will be secure. So this one, since the token is generated by your site and provided only when the page with the form is generated, so some other site cannot mimic your forms. So it means it is only the communication between your server and the page. Because they will have no token, they will not be able to post in your site. So that's why this is very good tools in Django. And the last one I would like to discuss when we want to go back. Okay. So if you can go forward to any other page, how can we return back? So there's one function. Now I just used very simple JavaScript. So the JavaScript shows the window.history.back. So it means when I go forward, I can go back to the original page. So I put here is the button submit. The submit means we want to check whether the form is valid or not based on the if I click the save with submit, you will check whether the form is valid or not. And then after you finish with this form, if you want to cancel, for example, then you will do this one. On click window.history.back. So it means you will go back from the previous page. It is when you click the cancel button. Okay. Okay, so let's stop here and we will have a break and I will continue after the break.